Welcome back to Yes, I'm Adopted, Don't Make It Weird. Today we are finishing up our conversation of the book
Beneath the Masks.
Good job, Davo.
I did it.
We're going to be talking about the concept of permanence, but since we just talked about that recently, we are also going to be tacking on the concept of adoptees being hyper vigilant about everything. Absolutely everything.
So we've already talked about the idea of permanence a little bit, just as far as like adoptees not being able to fully grasp when something is real.
Right.
And kind of constantly expecting that we're not going to always have that thing. So we've talked about that a little bit, or like coming around the corner to like see my house, right? And just really being relieved that it's still there. Like, oh,
I can go home.
Phew. Like, that was apparently a genuine concern.
Or like when you lose sight of your mom for like more than 30 seconds at a time.
Right.
And then you're like, she's gone.
She doesn't exist.
I have no mother anymore.
What happened?
And then you try to move on with life.
Right. And then she shows up, and you're like, oh, never mind.
Now I have to recalibrate again? Choose one or the other, woman.
Right?
That's a horrible thing to say.
Exist or don't exist?
Yeah.
Like, that's the options.
Yes.
Like, object permanence is a psychological concept that children learn, right? Where when something disappears and we can't see it, like little kids don't believe that still exists anymore, right? Like that's peekaboo. Like where did you go?
Yep.
What happened? And then you reappeared, and now it still exists. But object permanence in as we get older is just knowing that something still is there, even when it's not within our visual line of sight, and that's difficult for adoptees in families specifically because we've already experienced that loss. So like there's this part of me that just kind of believes that when I can't see them, people just don't exist.
Yeah. I'm really good or really bad at that, depending on how you view it. Like the whole out of sight, out of mind thing. It's not that I'm vindictive or hateful. I am probably a bad friend. But if I don't see people for a while, I just don't think about them. They just no longer exist in my mind. It's horrible. And if you're watching this, I apologize.
If
maybe
those people were...
If they're watching, and those are the ones. They're like, yeah, Brett hasn't messaged me back in like a year. It's not that I hate you. It's I forgot that you exist.
Which is literally true, but sounds really terrible.
It sounds terrible. I'm sorry. I apologize.
So, in a lot of regards, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's a part of me, and there's a part of that, like, if I acquire something new, or if there's somebody that I'm thinking about, or, like, whatever, when I wake up in the morning, like, I'll rush to make sure that actually happened.
Yep.
Or that thing exists, or whatever. So there's a side of it that's kind of funny, but then there's also the side of it that we didn't really touch on before, which is the part where we get freaked out constantly wondering if that circumstance or that thing is going to just suddenly change, suddenly vanish, right? Which is where the hypervigilance comes from. So...
Oh, man.
Like...
I'm excited about this one. Like, this is my life right here. Hypervigilance is my life. Like, okay, so for me, it mostly plays out in conversations. I'm hypervigilant about conversations that I have with people. If I know I have to talk with you or anybody else about something, I play every single scenario out in my head. The good, the bad, the stuff that will never, ever, ever happen. But there's a possibility that it might.
Maybe.
Like, what am I going to do if Dave all of a sudden pulls a gun on me? And I don't have my swords with me? Like, what's going to happen? I have a plan for that.
You plan for that contingency.
I have.
This is why we shouldn't watch zombie shows.
Oh, right.
Right?
Because, I have done that.
Because I have an exit strategy for every apocalypse.
Yes.
Okay, if it's a robot uprising, I'm going to do this.
Yep.
But if it's a zombie apocalypse, I'm going to do this. If it's a viral infection,
oh man,
then I'll probably have to do this. Like, there's a contingency for everything that comes from this hypervigilance.
Yes.
Like, and Yeah, like yours is playing scenarios. I think
Right.
I'm just like I'm hyper aware of my surroundings. So whenever I'm in a place or what, like it's very easy for me to get overwhelmed by loud noises and a lot of people and just a lot of things going on
Yeah.
because I can't keep track of them all.
Yeah.
And I really feel this compulsive need to keep track of literally everything around me.
Oh, yes.
Which is why I spend the vast majority of my time alone, because. If I'm in this enclosed space, I know where everything is.
Get you. Yeah.
I did all that, and so I don't like. It's like the one area that I can kind of let things down, like
Right.
let it go and be like, okay,
I can relax
because I've already vigilanced
Yep.
all of this. I don't have to be as
Right.
hyper aware right now. You know?
Yeah.
Like-
So at our apartment complex, I can hear everything. Like, when people are having conversations outside, it drives me crazy. My wife and I were talking about it. I'm like, I need out of here. I need to get it somewhere else because I hear every single conversation. I feel like I can't relax at home
Right.
because I don't know what they're talking about. They could be like, well, you see that Asian guy in there? Let's go beat him up. That could be a thing that happens. And I need to be prepared for that. So I, like, hear every conversation and I listen to them. I'm like, okay, like, are they talking about me? Because if it's close enough to my place, I feel like they're talking about me. Or if somebody has a conversation and they do one of these, they're like talking to somebody and they make eye contact with you, then it feels like that they're having a conversation about you.
It's like a low grade paranoia.
Oh my gosh, it's not even low grade for me, man. It's just straight up
It's
paranoia.
a mid grade paranoia.
It's terrible. But that hypervigilance has actually helped me out in a lot of scenarios, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, like being adopted, we deal with that constantly. And if you're adopted out there, tell us your thoughts below. Like, we want to know if this is you guys too. But that has actually helped me out in many different scenarios. So, like I was saying before, I do it in conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I go into a conversation, I strategize. I know if I say this, they're going to say this. And I try to plan as many moves ahead as possible. And that has helped me not freak out in conversations.
Right.
I can have a rational conversation with somebody, even if they're freaking out or really upset at me or anything like that, because I have planned ahead in every scenario, and I know what's going to happen.
Right. If they freak out, this is what I'm going to do.
Exactly.
If they're calm, this is what I'm going to do.
Like, I have it to the point where, you know, like, if they get up and start yelling in my face, I know how I'm going to act.
Right.
Because I don't want to be thrown off.
Or you'll position yourself even, right? Like,
Yes.
if I know where this is going to take place, I know where in the room I want to sit.
Yep.
I know, you know, the position that I'm going to take within that context so that I can respond in any number of ways should the opportunity arise or the need arise.
Yep.
Which is craziness, right? Like it's helpful in some regards, but in many regards, it's just a lot of wasted energy.
It
like,
is.
It's because I'm so tired now from having to think through all these things, and the reason this has to do with permanence and kind of an extreme case is with adoptees in relationships, where really what we expect is that the thing that we've come to know or the person that we've come to be in intimate relationship with, it's not going to last, right?
It's
like we just
terrible.
expect that it's going to, at some point they're just going to
Everything
leave.
ends.
Or not even leave, just like not exist
Just,
anymore.
yeah, be gone.
Right? Like a transition's going to occur, and then we just won't ever see that person again, which makes this vigilance or this planning ahead kind of ridiculous. Where it becomes
Exhausting.
it's exhausting and it's self-defeating, right?
Yes.
Because now I've pushed you away as a contingency to not have to deal with the fact that maybe one day you might just kind of vanish.
Yep.
That could happen.
Yeah. And we're pretty good at that, you know, like the whole pushing people away, because we know that at any moment they could be gone from our lives. I've talked about this before. I am extremely good at keeping people at arm's length, but making them feel like, you know, like they're my best friend or I'm their best friend. It's like, hey, we're buddies and stuff, because, you know, like I'm super happy and all this other stuff. But ultimately what it is I'm already planning for you to leave. And so I'm not going to get buddy-buddy with you. I'm not going to open up and be, you know, like, hey, here's my deepest, darkest everything. Here's my life story even.
Right.
Because I'm already planning at some point for you to be gone. And it's terrible. But it's something that we deal with on a daily basis.
Right. And I think to provide some hope and some standpoint for
Yeah,
like,
let's provide hope.
like,
I'm getting sad right now.
At 35, I'm better at it.
Yes.
Right? Like, there's still parts of my life that I manage very intensely and very intently, I think. Like, or intentionally, I suppose.
Intentionally.
To take advantage of this part of myself and to manage part of myself. Like, I know this is coming and I don't want it to interfere with stuff, so I take steps to make sure that I don't enter into those scenarios, right? I don't go blind into that. Or even letting people that are close to me know, like, hey, just so you know, I'm just going to disappear for a little while and, look me up or whatever. Like, and for the most part, a lot of people know that about us now.
They do now.
That
we've been pretty open about that, too.
We have very close family and friends.
Right.
And everybody else.
Yeah.
All of you fall into that category, sorry.
Congratulations. Hey, at least you made it into a category.
You made it into something.
You could just not exist in our minds.
Right? Like, even then, we talked a little bit about that last week, where, like, we're private people.
Yeah.
All things considered. We do this, but we control this. The things you guys don't see.
Woo! Man. You are lucky.
Good for you. Nobody wants to see that.
It's terrible.
The conversation going into some of these episodes is really rough. So for adoptive families, for parents that have adopted kids, I think this is something just to be aware of. Right? Being aware that your kid may withdraw, your kid may be like just hyper aware, or even like I think extracurricular activities, putting too many expectations and too many activities on a kid, especially in today's society, is too much. It's overstimulating because one, we expect that we're going to invest all this time and then nothing's going to come of it, or it'll just disappear, or we're just so exhausted from being aware of all of those scenarios and playing all of it ahead of time and not taking the time to really think through those things. Because I don't really think that's ever gone away. No. I still do it. We're just better about what we commit to now.
Yeah, we do this constantly. As a kid, like, it was really bad for me. Like, the whole permanence thing, I never wanted to let anybody be a permanent part of my life as a kid. And so I was the angry teenager. I was the angry child that just got in fights all the time and just would find little nitpicky things to argue about, because if I could push you away, that's not you rejecting me, that's me rejecting you. And so you don't have a choice in the matter. And I would get into fights constantly to the point where, like, people just would stop wanting to talk to me and hang out with me. And that was my decision.
Right.
And it was really hard because, it got to the point where it became second nature for me.
Sure.
To push people away. And growing up, I had to learn the exact opposite of all of that. I had to stop being this angry teenager who would just, glare at you every time you walked by me, to somebody who, I don't know, was an iota softer than that.
Just a little bit.
Just a little.
Right? Like, I think we still we play those scenarios. Mm-hmm. And I'm still aware. But I think as an adult, we're more aware how that affects other people.
Yes, that's a big one, the empathy behind it.
And actually care about how that affects other people.
Yep.
And two, like, we manage those things a little bit better today than we did before, because we're aware of what's going on, so we can take control and we can really make the decision to be better in these areas or use them to our advantage if that's necessary.
Yep. Always use it to our advantage.
Yeah. So as adults, there's that, and as parents of kids that are going through this, just be aware that your kid's gonna have a lot to process, maybe more than the average child would process, because they're looking at every scenario,
every single thing
for everything, and constantly aware of exactly where they are. So those are our current thoughts on permanence and hypervigilance. There you go.
And that's it. So, for instance, if this disappears,
that's mine. Well,
they don't exist any longer.
It's okay. I actually thought through, what am I going to do with these Legos?
And he'll yell at me afterwards.
The answer is nothing. I'm going to do nothing.
So, thank you guys for joining us on today's episode of Yes, I'm Adopted, Don't Make It Weird. We have one more episode of this season. Uno más.
Big finish.
Yeah, big finish, which we are not going to spoil.
Do we know what?
I don't know. We gotta figure that out.
We're gonna have a big finish.
Big finish! We're so excited about it. You guys should be
great.
excited too.
For this season.
Yeah. So, again, as always, please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We love you all. Check us out on Instagram and make sure to join that group. We have like 600 and some people in the group.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing community, guys. Like, I am super proud of you for those people that respond in the group, that answer those questions. And for those who are asking questions, like, keep it up. Like, it's so cool being able to see people help each other out. So, again, we love you. We're going to go and film a documentary now. Like, we really are. We have to go.
We're going to do our actual job?
Yeah, we actually have to go and do that. Yeah. We got to work for a living.
Okay. Like right now?
Like now. Get to work, you bum.